Shalom Aleichem, a good night of Shabbos. It's Gimmel Adar. Today we'll talk about the idea of Kedushe, of holiness, remaining in its original place, never leaving it, and the importance of us identifying with that Kedushe that exists in a place where a tzaddik, where a rebbe, where a special yid davened and learned. I refer here to 770 and other holy places like Batei Rand in Nachlaot in Yerushalayim. I begin with a question. Where did Rabbi Shmuel David Raichik, the Shadar of the Frierdiker Rebbe and the Rebbe, where did he read his Pidyon Nefesh, his Pan, after Gimmel Tammuz? I'll get back to that very soon, and I'll tell you why it's important. The Rebbe said, and we heard this from the Rebbe many times, that 770 is the place in which his father-in-law, the Rebbe, the Shver, davened and learned for 10 years. The Rebbe didn't say upstairs, downstairs, backwards, forwards, left, right. He spoke about this Beis HaKnesses, which means all of the Beis HaKnesses, all of the shul. In the days of the Frierdiker Rebbe, between 1940 and 1950, when he passed away, there was no downstairs. It was still what was called a shalash, like a garage, an open area. And the Frierdiker Rebbe, because of his health, most of the time was upstairs where he lived, and that's where they davened most of the time. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, several times, several years, they brought him downstairs. But it was a very big to-do, and it took a lot of work because he was pretty much wheelchair bound. But the Rebbe says that 770 is a Mokum Torah Tefillah because his father-in-law davened there. In other words, as the Rebbe would say, the Rebbe, the Nossi, the Tzaddik, he davened there and he established Kedushe, and it remains there. Kedushe loizozim emkayim, the Gemara says, Kedushe doesn't leave its original destination, and that's why the Kaisel Maravi, the holy Kaisel, is holy until today. Whether you believe in the Kaisel, you don't believe in the Kaisel, whatever your politics are, it makes no difference, because the Kaisel was built with the money of poor Yiddish people, as we know the story from the Medrash. Therefore, the Kaisel is a heilige Platz, it's a holy place, and every single Yid davens there. And if a Yid doesn't actually get there for whatever reason, he wants to daven there. The same was with 770. Rabbi Raichik told me after Gimmel Tammuz, I approached him once. He was a mashpia of mine, from my days as an older bacher in the yeshiva in Los Angeles at Oyer Chonah Chabad, and he was our mashpia for the us bacherim, the shluchim bacherim. And I asked Rabbi Raichik, where do you read your Pidyon Nefesh that you write now to the Rebbe, at the Oyel or in the Rebbe's room? And he told me in the Rebbe's room. I didn't ask him, does that mean exclusively? I didn't ask him that. I don't know. But what I asked him is what I told you. Why? He didn't tell me either because I didn't ask him why. I'm telling you what I believe is the interpretation, is the reason. Because this was the Yechidus room of the Rebbe, in which he had Yechidus with the Rebbe, private audience with the Rebbe in this room. So in this holy room of the Rebbe's Yechidus room, upstairs in 770, that's where he read his Pidyon Nefesh, his petition request for whatever he needed post Gimmel Tammuz, post the Rebbe's Histalkus. There were other Chassidim, like my wonderful and special father-in-law, Reb Chaim Serebransky, who did not, after Gimmel Tammuz, go into the Rebbe's room. He felt it's Kedushe, it was reserved for Yechidus, and therefore the Rebbe Begashmias is not there, he's not giving Yechidus. He didn't feel that it's right for him to go in to that room. That was his feeling. Both are genuine, both are fine. With it, my Shver Daven, downstairs in 770. The building of 770 must not be discredited, regardless of what's going on. You know how it was in the shtetl, in the shtetl, in the shiel, in the shul, in the shtibel. Everyone came. The intellectuals, the Hasidim, the Litvaks, the Mishagoyim, the business people, the handlers. It reminds me of the Sicher in Moshe Shul in Yerushalayim. You need to trade your dollars for shekels. Someone sits there for that. You need a deal. Someone's there. You want to daven and close your eyes and daven 15 minutes by Ezra? You can get that too. You want to be a litvak and don't say v'yachal v'kona v'shicha? You can get that too. A shtibel is for all Yidden. 770 is much greater than a shtibel. It's Beis Chayenu, Beis Rabbeinu. It's the house of Kedushe of Lubavitch. It remains that way. Adar Yoim. Although, as we said in a previous clip, that Gaboyim and Rabbonim should implement Seder and organization and deal with issues that need to be dealt with. But that even if that's not done, or until when it's done, it doesn't remove the Kedusha of 770. So I share that with you because as we're in Adar now, and we're looking for Simcha. Simcha's Avas Yisrael, and Avas Yisrael means all being together. We're all in the shtibel. We're all in 770. I also remind myself and share with you that tomorrow, Dalit Adar, is the 68th Yartzeit of a special chassid, Reb Avraham Elye Axelrod, who was a Tamim in Lubavitch, and chassid of the Rebbe Rashab, and then the Frierdiker Rebbe, and even our Rebbe. He passed away in 1952, right at the beginning of the Rebbe's Nesius. A story that is a classic story that I like sharing, and although I'm far from it, and nevertheless it's good to hear and to think about. After the Great Depression, money was scarce and there was a difficult situation here in America. But when the war broke out and America supplied, ships and artillery, and the metal industry was very strong. People made lots of money, whether you were invested in the stock market or other businesses, metal scraps. It was a very big, successful business. Rabbi Axelrod was hired as Rav of the Tzemach Tzedek Shul in Baltimore, which I was in, and they just celebrated 90 years from when the Frierdiker Rebbe said a mimer there in 1930. And you could actually go to the shul. It's in Baltimore, the John Hopkins Hospital area of Baltimore. And the Rabbi Axelrod was the Rav there from 25 to 52. In the 1940s, the board, the congregation had members, and they were doing much better. So one day, the president of the shul walks over to the Rav's house, and the Rabbi Axelrod never closed his door, because if a Yid or a Yidina, a man or woman, wanted to come in, they can just walk in and talk to the Rav, day or night. So this Yid, Rabbi Avraham Elye, this chassid, was approached by the president. The problem was when the president came to the house, he saw his Gemara on his stender at the window. He used to learn at a stender at the window facing the outside. But he wasn't there. He must have gone out. The president waits a few minutes, and he's still not there. He has to go. So he takes out an envelope from his pocket, he puts it down on the Gemara, and he leaves. A half an hour later, Rabbi Axelrod now is at the president's house. He knocks on the door, and he says, "I see you were at my house. I was out. I see you left me something." He says, "Yes, Rav, I left you a check, and we doubled your salary because Baruch Hashem, we're doing so much better. We're getting more donations, and we were paying you so little, and we have more, and we want it, and we love you, and you deserve more, and hear it." And he says, "And you're not happy about it?" The president asks Rabbi Axelrod. So Rabbi Axelrod says, "Listen, I came from Lubavitch. I came from a place where there was not much food, and not much money. And even the little that we had, we were taught you have to have what's called a skafia to hold yourself back from taivas, from indulgences. So Baruch Hashem, one taiva I haven't had so far in America from 1925 till now is the taiva of money. I didn't have it because I got paid so little and I was happy. Now you're giving me a check that's double the amount than what I'm getting. So you're giving me now a taiva of money. That I will not accept and allow. And he took the check and he tore it up. Who would tear up a check? Which Rav, which rabbi, which tzaddik, which rebbe today would tear up a check? You'll find all the excuses in the world. It's for tzedakah, it's for this, it's for that. And it could be it's true. But let's look at the attitude, the hashkafa, that this Rabbi Axelrod displayed in this story. And for us, I think, as it's Yartzeit tomorrow, we should say L'chaim Lil Nishmos and Avraham Elye Axelrod, that this was a Lubavitcher Rav who learned in Treim Chetmimim, who lived with the Alter Rebbe and the Rabbeim's teachings. May Hashem help. Not that we shouldn't have money, and not that we should be blessed. We should, in a big way, to bring more Yidden and to build more buildings and be Mekar of more people and learn more Torah and have more Tefillah and all that. But never lose the plot. What's the plot? The plot is being an Oved Hashem and not being caught by the green dollar bill and the greed. Everyone have a wonderful Shabbos, and we should be Zeicha, merit to Mashiach's coming. Amen v'amen now.